Ooh, I forgot where the link was. Okay, so welcome to, I call it Ponery's Penny Arcade. I was going to put a link on Gun Channels to make it visible live, but I forgot where the link was, so I guess I won't be doing that. Basically, what I'm doing, this is the second time I've tried this. It's an attempt to customize layouts for future streaming. Uh, if you didn't know, or as you may already know, Google Hangouts is no longer available for live streaming panel shows. And the problem with that is a lot of shows that we watch over at Gun Channels is gone until an alternative is found. There is a popular alternative out there now, known as StreamYard. It does have its limitations, but it's very easy to use, and I suspect that a lot of folks who need it simple will probably go to that. I'm going to draw a little bit of a comparison and a parallel to why I think that's a good idea and why I don't think it's a good idea. If you want to join me in chat, then you can join me over at the Gun Channels Discord, as you see there on the right side of your screen. I'm in the 2A Topics chat. That is basically the way I'm showing how a panel could work. In essence, the way I would envision this is, you would set up your own Discord, and you would make a particular voice channel invite only. And by making it invite only, you can actually just pull in the users you want for your panel, and that way only those people who are in that uh, channel that you've brought in can be spoken to and can speak back on your stream without worrying about other people jumping in, arbitrarily that you didn't expect or you didn't want in there. If you also notice on the left side of my screen here, I've got the chat box transparent. It was a little trick I picked and figured out. So, I mean, you can see me here typing to everyone, and it should pop up right there. So, this is something you can do if you choose to stream the way I'm streaming right now. And that way you have a live chat going on your panel, on your video in real time. So that way you don't have to have a bunch of windows open. I am completely new to this. I don't stream live shows. I don't do panel shows where I'm the host. I do join as a panelist from time to time. However, uh, I have an IT background. I've been doing it for at least 25 years, and I've been working nuts and bolts with internet stuff for at least 17 of those years. So I thought, for those who are, I guess, less fluent in software, I could maybe explain how I did what I did, because this is literally the second stream I've done. This is the third time I've actually run this software, and I gotta tell you, it's pretty easy once you get over the anxiety of the new learning curve. If you wonder why my eyeballs aren't exactly looking at you guys, it's because my webcam is above the monitor, and it's not my primary monitor. It's over on my right. My main monitor is over here on my left. Um, but let me go ahead and get into what I'm using. So what you're seeing here is a desktop background that I've chosen because I call it Ponery's Penny Arcade. It was something that I was playing with as an idea to stream playing old school video games on Sundays in the gunchannels.com gaming channel. It's just something to break the monotony of commonly just overused topics over and over and over. If you watch the same lobby every day or the same topics every day, there are lulls, there's quiet spots, because you can only talk about so many things every day before it becomes redundant. So we have this channel. It's on gunchannels.com. It's called the gaming channel. Anyone can use it as far as I know, and basically you just stream your videos there. You can stream while you're playing, just to break the ice and just have shoot the shit. Just talk with anybody you want about anything you want. Today, I'll probably just load up like World of Warships for a few minutes just to show you that it works with the overlay still in place, and the text will be going right on top of the game, which is cool. Um, Patrick, if you want to jump into 2A topics real quick, just to show the two different people talking on the panel, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to like sit out. I know you know how to make this work. So if you want to come in and just say hi or whatever, or kind of fill in the blanks if I'm missing anything, feel free, go right ahead. Um, so let me talk about StreamYard. It's the alternative to YouTube. I believe it's just StreamYard.com. Um, it is currently a free to use service. It currently has very basic limitations. So you can join as a free user. It'll allow you to have 6 simultaneous panelists. So it'd be you, the host, and 5 panelists. But you can have 10 people in in the waiting in the lobby. So what you can do is if you have 10 active people on your show, but you only have 6 on the screen, you can pull them into like the green room, so to speak. And then that way, if one panelist is getting quiet or they need to duck out, you can pull them out and then pull in one of the other guys in waiting and then have them into the fold of your show. So it's not such a bad thing. To be perfectly honest, I like the idea because what it does is it gives you 6 panelists instead of 10 all at the same time. Because if you've ever watched like a Never Enough Ammo podcast, or well, that's just a really good example. If you ever watch a Never Enough Ammo podcast, either on Mondays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays, his panels become very full, and it turns into like Baroque classic music, where everyone is doing something all at the same time, and you have to sit there and pick out different parts of the conversation. There's a saying, I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. It's the same idea. You can still get the message out. It's just you don't have as many talking heads on your screen at the same time. And because you have less people on at the same time, you actually end up getting, a better quality of opinion because you're not having to constantly shift from user to user to user to user just to get answers. And to be perfectly honest, 10 intros, you're wasting 15 minutes. 10 outros, you're wasting another 15 minutes. So it's like, it's more efficient. I think it's more streamlined, which is actually a good idea. If you start as a paid user, or sorry, if you start as a free user on StreamYard, there will be like a watermark at the top right corner of over here of your stream. It'll say something like "powered by StreamYard" with a little duck on it. If you don't mind that, no big deal. It's cool. It's whatever. If you don't want it on there because you're trying to make your show unique, then this is probably going to be the better method for you. Essentially, my concerns with StreamYard are pretty basic. It's more on a stylistic level. So let me show you one of the problems I've seen with StreamYard so far. Because it seems like most of the critics who don't like the method I'm choosing are the same kinds of people who won't even show their face on camera. So why do you need a service that shows your face on camera, right? So here is just a picture of this morning's Foul Territory with Gizzard Gary. He does use StreamYard. He is a paid user, so you probably won't be seeing the watermark at the top right corner. But just here is just a basic idea of what I'm talking about. So if you're going to run a show with panelists, right, and you have a full show of panelists, this is going to start to bother you as a viewer because you've got 2 people using only 10% of the, or maybe 20% of the entire usable stream space with something to look at. And everyone else is going to have just a black box with an icon. I'm sorry, but that's too generic for me. That's a bit too plain. That's a bit too it doesn't attract my attention. It doesn't grab my attention as a viewer. So I know it's about the message, but to be perfectly honest, you have to have a hook. You have to have something that's going to make people go, "Oh, that looks pretty cool. I like that. I'm going to watch this." It's got my attention. And then that way they become more engrossed in the message you're trying to portray to your viewers anyway. So this is my first real gripe is just the look of it. I guess the second thing that's going to be bugging me is everyone's show is going to look relatively the same. StreamYard has a limited template space. So you can move where the panes are, but it's still going to be panes with maybe a background that the user will choose, and they can drag in text comments below, as they see fit. So it's a bit too generic. It's going to end up looking like everyone's show is going to look pretty much the same, which is going to be sort of like going to Luby's cafeteria and having 30 different types of macaroni and cheese. It's still macaroni and cheese, right? But then again, that's what our shows are all about. So anyway, that's my first real issue. Another thing that I've noticed is a lot of people think that the way I'm doing this is backwards. It's old-fashioned, or it doesn't allow enough feature to show you what's going on. So let me allay those fears right away. So first of all, let me get rid of the screen cap that I had. What I've done here is, well, I'm using OBS. This is my third time using OBS. What you're seeing here is a conglomerate of elements that I've added to a stream screen. So the bottom right corner here is my webcam. The screen above me is the Gun Channel's Discord server. So you can see my little green icon and my name light up there because I'm broadcasting to you. If there were other users here, they would still be in that list as well, but they don't have their name light up. So you will know who's talking when they're talking in that panel right there. On the far left, over that way, I guess, is the chat box that all of you are participating in. So thank you for doing that. I can answer you from there. So, you can see me answer right here like this. And I've got it overlaying right on top of my background. That background with the 8-bit cityscape, I can change that at any time to anything I want. The layout, I can put it anywhere I want, any way I want. It's just this is the way I thought would work the best to get everything on the screen the way I want it and still give you a usable space in the center for something uh, like this. You see? So if I want to play this game later, I can do that right there in front of you. And your chat will still be there. Now, I know it looks a little bit busy because it's got all those icons on there, but in the game I'm playing, once I actually enter the battle, that's just going to be skyline, so it doesn't matter. I can see your text just fine. So we've got that capability as well. If you need to share a browser, we can do that as well. So for instance, I want to show off gun channels, right? Because that's where eventually I will be posting the link to this video. I was hoping to do it live, but I just forgot where the link was, so I couldn't add it. But I already wrote the description, so they'll see it after it happens. Um, so I can do this. I can show you my browser. What I'm doing here is just an entire display. That's my first monitor that you're seeing right there, and I've got it full screen. But you can do this. I could go over here to YouTube, and we could play a video right off the screen if I wanted to. Copyrights or whatever, but you get the point. I can do that if I need to. So we've got that. You can share browser elements. If you had to, in your topical discussion shows, play a video to illustrate a panel topic, then I guess you could do that right there off the browser. The more I start playing with this, the more I understand that yes, you definitely need to have multiple monitors if you want to do this efficiently. So right now I've got 2 monitors, and they are very crowded. But this is the result. So I think it worked out pretty good. All right, so now we've got browsers up. We've got gun channels on the screen. You can see that I've written the description here. I just forgot the link to the stream, so I haven't added it yet. But I'll add that later. It's not a big deal. And then I guess I should explain, how I did this. So essentially what you're looking at is just OBS, and I've broadcasted straight to YouTube. It's actually rather simple. I'll probably be doing a how-to video for anybody who wants to do this that's a panel show host, right? And that way, they can have a step by step, because I know that this isn't for everybody. The procedure isn't for everybody, but once I show you how simple it is, it'll probably make a whole lot of sense. So I'm gonna do that in another video. I won't be doing it live. I'll just record it, edit it, and then put it up there for everybody. But yeah, I think this is pretty simple. The best part about all of this is there are no icons, none. I could put one on there if I wanted to. I used to have my avatar at the top left corner, but then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, nah, I don't really need that, so I took it out. But you could put that on there. You could put your own overlay on there. You could put text anywhere you want. Ponyre's Penny Arcade's right here on the right side of the screen. I could put that there if I want to. Um, you can put text anywhere you want. So like if you wanted to add a lower third, create a lower third, or just put your JPEG file, and then you can add an element on the bottom of your screen and just leave it there. The world is your oyster when it comes to this. And the best part about all of it is it didn't cost me 1 red cent. There is no pay window. There is no fee. There's no nothing. Everything just goes onto your computer. The programs are small. They're very powerful, but they work incredibly well. So now you don't have to take anything out of pocket. The only thing you have to do is learn how to do it. learn the layout. Now, in a way, Gun Channel sort of did us a favor because the last update took away the Gun Channel side chat, which means that's one less element I have to try to figure out to put on the screen. But as you can see, I've got my panel over there on the right if I had this full of people, and I've got my chat box on the left, which is obviously full of viewers that want to talk, and I can talk to them. I can read your posts. If you had questions, you can ask right there on the screen. I don't even have to type the answer. I could just read it right off the screen. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Uh, but I didn't really have a whole lot else to discuss. This was more like proof of concept, and I just wanted to say, here it is. This is how it works. It doesn't cost you anything. It's easy to use. Tweaking your audio and video is very simple. And without further ado, I'm also going to show you one element. Most of you aren't gamers. You're not going to stream gaming, but there's one aspect of this. If I can just borrow you for a few minutes to show you that you can blend the audio as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and load my game capture for a second. And pop this up. And we'll just go ahead and run this. Actually, I don't even have to play it. You can probably just hear it. So what I've done here is I've blended the two audio elements. Whatever I'm hearing through my speakers, you should be hearing through the stream. So if you wanted to actually stream a video while doing your panel show, you can do that. And then your viewers will hear the video audio that you're playing while you're still talking over it. That's a very, very simple element to figure out. You're just adding an audio input from your mic and audio output from whatever your output device is. So in my case, my audio output device is just the headset, and I've told it to broadcast it out here. Thank you for the thumbs, G, by the way. So yeah, I mean that's basically it. I was gonna play this, but honestly, I've already run 19 minutes. So I mean, if you have any other questions about how to make this work, I can give you the basics, but I'll probably go ahead and just put out an elements video to show you step by step how I did this. There's really not a whole lot to it though, and I did this actually. If you want to know who I mainly did this for, it was actually for Rick Mitchell, host of Rick's Life as I See It. He hosts generally 2 shows. Shooting with Disabilities, I believe, is every Wednesday, and that is 7 o'clock Eastern, if I'm not mistaken, 6 o'clock Central. And on every other Saturday, he just hosts like a general show, Rick's Life as I See It. I talk to him mostly every weekday while I'm at work, generally in 2A topics here on the Discord, just because I can't host. If I could host lobbies, I would. It's just we don't have the same connection we used to at work, so I just don't have a stable connection. If you see me throughout the day in 2A topics, you notice I drop out a lot. So this is basically the only way I can reach people right now on the regular throughout the day. But while doing that with Rick over the last couple of days, it's become pretty apparent that he was trying an alternative through Google Office Suites. And our very own G-Webs actually pointed out that, yes, there is streaming, but there are restrictions and there are things that you have to do to get there. And the more we played with it, the more we realized that is the case. So the basic package, I believe, with the Office Suites, Google Office Suites, I think they call it something similar to that, is it costs you, I think, $6 a month for the basic. And then, yes, you can create events and invite people. Those people do not have to pay to join. However, you cannot broadcast it to YouTube for at least 30 days or until you have accrued $30 worth of expense into that software. So that means if you don't pay and you just do the $6 a month, then you can't broadcast to YouTube for 5 months because that won't let you hit $30. We just kind of call it backhanded extortion because now you have to spend $30 just to get started. And then after you do that, I think you can go ahead and stream after $30. But the way it was worded is you can't do it for 30 days or until you spend $30. So I guess it's either or. and that left a really bad taste in the poor guy's mouth. So he didn't want to use that, and I believe he's going to StreamYard for now. But I'm like I said, everyone doesn't have to use the same method. They don't, because if you don't want it to look all the same, then if you like to mess with things and tweak them and get them the way you want them, this is exactly how you would do that. The Google Meet. Ew. So anyway, yeah, he was reading it off screen. He sent me a link about it, and basically, the way it turned out, he didn't like it. And then to compound his problem even further, is there's a issue with his internet. So if you guys didn't know, Rick used to be in Rhode Island, and the internet connections were much better out there, but restrictions were worse. So he decided to go back to his more or less birth city or state, and he went to Indiana in the middle of nowhere. Basically, it's beautiful country. If you haven't seen it before, Rick does have a video up of his drive from his house to his range, and it is picturesque and gorgeous, and I am extremely jealous of that. But problem is he's so far away from the service box that he's actually just outside the effective range of DSL. So if you've ever watched his show in the last couple of weeks, you may notice that it's very boxy because he can only do 144p because his connection's so slow. And before, it dropped a lot. So we're trying to help him find an alternative for that. It looks like it may end up being satellite, but there is a delay with satellite as well. So it's yeah, it's an issue. But yeah, that Google Meet thing, G, it would work. It would work. Um, it's just there he's not happy with the pay window concept. So, I'm sure you'll probably run into him. Well, you can probably run into him anytime during the week or, on a show for sure, but he'll probably go ahead and air out his dirty laundry about that for sure. Um, let's see, who else was talking about this? I can't think right off a hand. I pretty much laid out everything I was going to show today, so I mean, I'm just trying to keep this basic. I will, once this processes, I'll go ahead and I'll post it on your page. It's just, I thought before I hit the button that it was going to give me the link to the video, so I was going to post it before it started. It's just once it started, the link wasn't there. It gave me the actual like live feed link, which wasn't the page I thought it was going to be. So, once we close down here, I'll go ahead and post it up there if you think it's worth showing anybody in case they want to see it. It's up to you. Um, Other than that, if you are watching this as part of my, albeit small subscriber base, or if I play the tag game right and you are not a member of Gun Channels, then I encourage you to go because it's one of the finest places you can go to meet other people that share mostly the same opinion. Mostly the same opinion. Apparently, I'm still the basement dweller, but I live in South Texas. We don't have basements. So I guess I'll go ahead and wrap it up. Um, I was gonna play this, but I mean, honestly, I got exactly what I was expecting out of it. You got to see it animating. It's probably not choppy. My camera is because it's old, but the audio, I just wanted to show you the blending of the audio, the video. Basically that all works. I wanted to show you the elements of screen caps, pictures, integrating a transparent chat box, which I know it's probably hard to see because I got the game in the way. I'm gonna go ahead and take that out of your way. But you can also make that box solid black if you want, because I know that my background is also doing that. It's just, I wanted you to be able to see that you can trick it out too. So I'll probably go ahead and add the link on how to do that. It's a very, very helpful YouTube video. I think I learned it in about 3 minutes. I've learned this whole program literally in 1 hour. And like I said, this is only the third time? Third time I've run this. The first one I ran, the layout was very, very crude, so I killed it. And then the second one I ran for probably 20, 25 minutes with an actual game running. And I talked to Tony York out in Illinois, and unfortunately, because he's not a gamer, he saw the video of the game on the screen, and he was like, "Nope, don't want to watch it." So I tried to keep that out of this one, just to keep people's attention in case they just don't like games. But I think what I'll probably do is starting next Sunday is I'll go ahead and make use of the gaming channel over at Gun Channels, and I'll just post like maybe a 30-minute, just me playing something 8-bit. We'll call it the Penny Arcade. And what I'll try to do, I guess, in the meantime with it, is I'll try to tie in elements of how gaming affected technology and also how gaming also attracted a whole new generation of gun enthusiasts. Because, truth be told, that's what got me started. It was Metal Gear, 8-bit Metal Gear from the 80s. And, that started the fascination with firearms for me. And what I'll probably try to do is I'll try to keep the gaming elements at least weapons related. The ship thing is a bit of a stretch because the guns are obviously not man portable, but they're still guns. I mean, there's that. I'll go ahead and I'm gonna try to keep it 8-bit, maybe 16 as much as possible. Maybe we'll throw in a couple of new things here and there, but yeah, exactly. We can probably do the Friday game shows too. I don't mind doing that. I'm trying to find time to be a little bit more active as a panelist because I don't host shows. So um, I guess my biggest contention for the last couple of weeks. I know you've been under a lot of stress too, so I mean it is what it is. But uh, my contention with most of this is I'm just trying to teach people because they might not know how to do this. But you already know, you fully know I'm not a host. I don't host shows. I don't have the time to show prep like I used to, especially with my new work schedule. So I can do the gaming thing just for casual fun and maybe a little bit of commentary. I'm also going to start a series. I'm not sure how many times I'll do it a month, but it'll be called Honery's Ponderances, where basically I'll be taking you on a ride through the streets of Houston late at night in my car with all its black lights and stupidity. And maybe I'll even do like a commentary about the cigar I'll have while I'm telling you whatever I'm thinking about that day. The one thing I didn't want to do is talk about the things that happened over the weekend because I'm sure most of you are far better at opining about that. We all have our opinions about that, but I'm just fighting the rhetoric right now with that. So um, think I'll go ahead and wrap it up. We made it just short of 30 minutes. Keep your eyes out for the how-to for this in case you want to do it like this. I'm not sure if I'm going to start my own Discord server or not because we've got this one, so why would I mess with something else? It's just one more thing I'd have to figure out and learn. I really don't want to. So anyway, I'd like to thank you all for watching this today, and I guess we will see you later, at least until I do the next one. Ah, Enfields, 2 of them.